The US President Joe Biden has green-lighted a major and a very controversial oil drilling project in the climate-sensitive region of Alaska. The approval has come just one day after the Biden administration imposed limits on oil and gas drilling in 16 million acres of Alaska and the Arctic Ocean. This contested project had been initially approved by the Trump administration in 2020, then it was struck down by the courts in 2021, and now a scaled-down version has been given a go-ahead. Even after being scaled down, this will still be one of the largest oil and gas developments on US federal land, and the approval has put Joe Biden in direct confrontation with climate activists now. The environmental advocates are expected to challenge this project again in the court. In this video, we explain to you what is the controversy that has been raging with this particular project and why a plethora of climate activists have been opposing it so vehemently. But before that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Oneindia. The Willow Project is to be executed by the Conocophillips, the energy giant which is already Alaska's largest crude oil producer. This $8 billion project will be one of the largest of its kind on the US soil for many years to come. It will involve drilling for oil and gas at 3 sites on the Alaskan northern slope for multiple decades on the 23 million acre National Petroleum Reserve. The National Petroleum Reserve is owned by the federal government and is the largest tract of undisturbed public land in the US currently. An environmental impact assessment published last month by the US Interior Department had reduced the number of drilling sites from 5 to 3, the project's drill pads by 40%, and these are the reasons why the project is said to be a scaled down version. It is predicted that the drillings could produce up to 180,000 barrels of oil per day. That would roughly be 1.5% of the United States' current daily output. This means it is slated to produce an estimated 576 million barrels of oil over the next 30 years. The designated sites in question are said to hold as much as 600 million barrels of oil. With an ever-increasing demand for oil and with the shale gas sector slowly fizzling out, this is a vital alternative for oil for United States of America. The supporters of the project are jubilant after the approval. They say the project is balanced and the local communities would benefit greatly from taxes generated by Willow that would be invested in infrastructure and will up the public services. Also, there will be a generation of huge jobs, so it is a good deal for them. But the opponents of this project don't agree. For them, this is about prioritizing short-term benefits over long-term negative effects. They say that Alaska is at the forefront of the climate breakdown caused by burning fossil fuels, and communities surrounded by oil and gas operations are already suffering from poor air and water quality, health disparities and reduced food sources. Few Alaskan native communities have already been complaining about sick fish, malnourished caribou and toxic air quality directly caused by existing oil and gas extraction within their homelands since several decades. Another simple argument of climate activists is this: the Willow Project is expected to create about 260 million tons of greenhouse gases over its lifespan, which is equivalent of creating about 70 new coal-fired power plants, 1/3 of all coal plants in the United States. The emissions will also be the equivalent of adding 2 million cars to United States roads every single year. The climate activists have also accused Joe Biden of reneging on his promise. During his first months in office, Biden had set the most ambitious climate goal yet by any US president, which was to reduce carbon emissions by more than 50% by 2030. Biden had even backed a landmark law to accelerate expansion of clean energy such as wind and solar powers and move the US away from the oil, coal and gas. The activists also believe that this particular project will be the final nail in the coffin for communities in the Arctic, which is already warming nearly 4 times as quickly as the rest of the world. Additionally, it would worsen air pollution issues in an area where oil and gas extraction projects already contribute to higher than average rates of asthma and other conditions. Many petitions against this project had sprung up online, with some gathering millions of signatures, and many have dubbed the project as a disaster waiting to happen and even a sitting carbon bomb. The battle is now out in the open and only time will tell which direction would the pendulum swing. We hope you would like this new video. Thank you so much for watching.